Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Okay, all of you, please switch on your videos. Herin, Stina, Savio, Vivian, Gautam, please switch on your videos. Okay, so the last class we were discussed about some more about the chemical reaction, and we discussed the process of rusting of iron. Okay, and how this rusting of iron occurs, Adidev?
Ma'am, in case of rusting of iron, the iron reacts with oxygen present in the air and moisture and develops rust.
And develops rust. And what is the chemical formula or chemical name for the rust?
Hydrated iron oxide.
Okay, Aditya. What is the chemical name?
Hydrated iron oxide.
Iron oxide. It's enough. Okay. So if the iron substances or iron-like articles, it combines with the oxygen in the presence of water, or it is combines in a moisture area, what happens? This form of rusting. Iron oxide is formed. This iron oxide is known as rust. And what about the color of rust?
brown in color.
Where is this rusting is more? Is it in dry areas or moisture areas?
Moisture
areas.
Moisture areas. Okay. Or along the seaside areas or coastal areas, we can say that this rusting is greater. And what are the factors affecting this rusting? One is oxygen, presence of oxygen.
Presence of oxygen, presence
And
of
the
water,
presence of salt and water.
makes the process of rusting faster.
It may go faster when there is the presence of salt.
Salt, very good. The process of rusting is greater if there is a presence of salt in water. Okay, very good. And the last topic, and what are the methods that we can adopt in order to prevent this method of rusting? Michelle.
Apply paint or grease
on the surface and galvanization.
Okay. I get the mass answers from you guys. The method we can adopt to the rusting is apply paint or grease. This is the first method and a very normal method. Apply paint or grease. Apply paint or grease over the surface of the objects. It's a very good method that we can adopt in order to prevent the method of rusting. Then the second method? Galvanization. Very good. Galvanization is a new process. What do you mean by galvanization then?
Process of coating the iron with zinc. Thin layer of zinc.
Okay. All right. Abhinav, what do you mean by galvanization?
Putting a layer of zinc or chromium, the metal, on
Okay.
the iron.
The iron-like particles. Okay. So on the surface of iron, we are put a layer of, or we are cover, it is a layer of zinc, a thin layer of zinc or chromium. That process is known as galvanization. So these are the two different methods we can adopt in order to prevent the method of or the process of rusting. And the last topic that we were discussed here is
Crystallization.
Right? It is crystallization. Then Sanaiga, what do you mean by crystallization? Have you heard about this term crystallization?
Ma'am, I was not there.
Okay.
Ma'am, can I say?
Herin, what do you mean by crystallization?
The process of deriving a large crystal of pure substance from their solution is known as
From its own solution. Okay. It is a method of preparing.
Physical change.
Yes, it's a physical change. Excellent. Crystallization is a physical change. It is a method of preparing the crystals of that substance from its own solution. That is what is known as crystallization. Okay. And can you say one example for crystallization?
Collecting the salt from the water.
Salt water is by crystallization or evaporation?
Evaporation.
By evaporation. We are already discussed that we are preparing the salt, the crystals of salt from the salt water or from the sea water by the process of evaporation. But the one disadvantage or limiting of this evaporation or the salt produced by the evaporation method, these are not pure substances, which are not pure substances. But by the process of crystallization, we can produce the crystals of that substance in its pure form. It's pure from its solution, from its own solution. And one example is the copper crystal, the process of production of copper crystals from copper sulfate solution. Okay. So one of the practical example for the crystallization is is formation of crystals, formation of copper crystals from copper sulfate solution, or crystals of copper, formation of crystals of copper sulfate, formation of crystals of copper sulfate. What about the color of copper sulfate?
It is light blue.
Light blue in color. Okay, very good. So here we are take a beaker, and this beaker with the copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate solution means the powder, the copper sulfate is dissolves in water. We get copper sulfate solution. It's blue in color. Okay, copper sulfate solution. Into this copper sulfate solution, we add 2 or 3 drops of sulfuric acid. Okay, so take a bowl of copper sulfate solution and add 2 or 3 drops of dilute sulfuric acid. Dilute sulfuric acid into this solution. So we take a beaker and consists of copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate is a blue colored solution. Copper sulfate. Into the solution, we are add which type of acid?
Diluted sulfuric acid.
Diluted sulfuric acid or dilute sulfuric acid. 2 or 3 drops of dilute sulfuric acid, and kept this beaker for 24 hours. Okay, that is for 1 day. We kept it for 1 day. Okay, in a rest position without shaking it, kept this beaker for 1 day. After 1 day, we can see that crystals of copper sulfate is formed inside the beaker. Okay, so instead of this, we can see crystals of copper inside this beaker. Then the beaker contains some beautiful crystals of copper sulfate. Instead of solution, here beautiful crystals of the blue colored crystals of copper sulfate is obtained. So this is another one of the example for the crystallization of copper sulfate. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, can you write the steps?
Okay, all right. So the first step, we can once again, we can summarize the formation of crystallization of copper sulfate. So the first step, what is the first step? We can take a beaker of copper sulfate solution.
Yes.
Copper sulfate solution. Then into this copper sulfate solution, we add
Dilute
Dilute
sulfuric acid.
dilute sulfuric acid. Okay, so now the copper sulfate solution is mixed with the dilute sulfuric acid and kept these two for 1 day, 24 hours, 1 day or for 24 hours. Then we can obtain, it result in the crystals of
copper sulfate.
crystals of copper sulfate.
Copper sulfate. Blue color, right?
Yes, which is blue in color. Beautiful crystals of copper sulfate, which is blue color. Okay. Is it enough? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Copper
ma'am.
sulfate solution. Added 2 or 3 drops of dilute sulfuric acid. Kept it for 1 day. then you can observe crystals of copper sulfate is formed in the beaker. So from the same copper sulfate solution, here we produce the crystals of copper sulfate in its pure form. This process is known as crystallization. Okay, so that's all about the chapter acid, bases and salts. So today I am going to take the new chapter, chapter 10, respiration in organism. I hope that the chapter acid, bases and the chapter is clear, right? Is there any doubt regarding with the chapter?
The chapter physical and chemical changes.
Oh, sorry, physical and chemical changes, right? Okay, physical and chemical changes. Is there any doubt regarding with this chapter, physical changes?
Ma'am, copper sulfate solution will be blue in color.
Yes, copper sulfate solution is blue in color. Okay, are you interested to see the video of this crystallization?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 1 minute. In physical changes, we are starting with what is the difference between a physical change and a chemical change. And the basic difference is, what is the basic difference between a physical change and chemical change?
Physical change is a reversible change.
Yes, very good. Physical change is a reversible one, but chemical change is not reversible. And also in chemical change, a new product is formed. And there are several methods are there we can adopt in order to identify whether it is a chemical change. What are they? Smell may be produced, a sound may be produced, heat or light is also, color may be changed. Okay, all these are some signs of identification of the chemical change. Then we discuss so many type of chemical reactions like the deposition of copper and also the formation of rusting of iron and also galvanization. Galvanization is actually a method that we are adopt in order to prevent the process of rusting. And the last but not the least, we discuss about the crystallization. That is the process of formation of crystals of a substance. The pure crystals of a substance from its own solution is known as crystallization. But please kept in your mind, crystallization is a which process? Physical change. It's a physical process. It's a physical change. It's not a chemical reaction. It's a physical change. Okay. So now we are moved to the next chapter. Chapter 10, respiration in organisms. So all of you write the next heading, respiration in organisms.
Ma'am, page number?
Page number 108. 108. Chapter 10, respiration in organism. So in between that, you can find the 2 more chapters. It is not included for the exam. Chapter 7, weather, climate and adaptation of animals. It's not there for the exam. Chapter 8 and chapter 9 also not included for the examination. So after physical change, chapter 6, the next one is chapter 10, respiration in organisms. Okay, have you heard about this term respiration?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by respiration?
It is the breathing process.
Is it the breathing process? No. But actually we have a misconception that breathing is something that is related to respiration. But breathing is a form or breathing is a process related to respiration, but breathing is not the respiration. Both are 2 different phenomena. Okay, so from the lower classes itself or up to we are believe that what is known as respiration, it is nothing, it is the breathing itself, but it's not. Breathing and respiration both are 2 different phenomena, but they are interrelated. Okay, breathing and respiration. Breathing means it is an exchange of gases, right? We are breathing and breathe out, right? Breathing and breathe out, this phenomenon is always takes place in our daily life. Okay, so during breathing, which gas we are taken in? Which gas is taken? Oxygen. During
Oxygen.
breathe out, which gas is relaxed?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. So the breathing is a physical process. It's a physical process in which the exchange of gases occurs. So by the process of breathe in, the oxygen is taken inside, and by the process of breathe out, carbon dioxide released outside. So it is a physical process of exchanging of gas. This is what is known as breathing. Then what do you mean by respiration? Respiration is actually a chemical process in which takes place in the cellular level of an organism. Okay, we know that. What do you mean by cell? Cell.
Tiny organisms.
Is it tiny organisms?
No, ma'am.
it
Tiny
Unit of
Yes, it's a tiny units. We know that each and every organism in this universe, if it is whether a plant, animal, human being, anything like that, each and every type of organism is made up of microscopic units called cells. Okay, microscopic units called cells, and these cells need energy for doing its own functions. So what are the functions that is taken by the cells of an organism? Is there any function are there? Yes.
Ma'am, breaking down of food.
Breaking down of food, good. Then yes, then protecting what? Protecting us from the harmful diseases. Okay, so there are lots of functions are there in your textbook, page number 108. You can see the different functions performed by the cell. That is the functions like nutrition, transport, excretion, reproduction. All these are the different functions of the cell. In order to do these different types of functions, our cell needs energy. Okay, our cell needs energy. Then from where does the cell gets energy?
From the food.
From the food. Okay. Yes, from the carbohydrate. And this carbohydrate is obtained from the food, right? It is obtained as a result of the process of breakdown of the complex substance into simpler substances. That is what is known as digestion that we were discussed in our previous chapters. Okay, so we are starting the chapter respiration from cell. We know that cell is the microscopic units which present in each and every organism. Each and every organism is made up of small microscopic units called cell. Cell perform various functions. What are the functions of cell?
Breakdown of food, protecting the cell.
Breakdown of food, protecting our body from various diseases. Nutrition. What are the various functions? All of you find out write the various functions of cell first. After that we can discuss. Various functions of cell. Various functions of cell. Yes? Cell. Various functions of cell. What are the various functions of cell?
Nutrition.
Breakdown of food.
Okay, nutrition, or we can say it is digestion. Breakdown of food, something that is what is called a digestion.
Growth.
Yeah, growth or transportation of various nutrient products into the different parts of the body. It is a function of the cell. Excretion and reproduction, that is giving birth to new things. That is what is known as a reproduction.
What's the meaning of excretion?
Excretion means the ejection of waste materials from the bodies. Releasing out of the waste materials from the body. Okay. So in the form of urine, we know that we are eject the waste materials from the body. So that is what is actually known as excretion and all. So nutrition, digestion, transportation, excretion, reproduction, all these are the different functions of the cell. So in order to do all these functions, our cell needs energy and it obtained from the food. Because we know that the food stores energy and this energy is released during the process of respiration. So we can see the definition for respiration. What do you mean by respiration? Okay, this is the definition of respiration. The process of releasing energy from food is called respiration. We know that we need a food for doing different kind of actions, like the cell performs various functions like respiration, not respiration, excretion, transportation, nutrition. These are the different functions of the cell. In order to do all these functions, our cell needs energy. It obtained from the food, and the process of releasing the energy from food is called respiration.
Ma'am, can you show the last slide?
Okay, you don't need to copy down this one, only need to copy down the first definition. You need the last slide. Which
Yes,
one?
ma'am. I'm not.
Okay, the functions of cell. These are the different functions of cell. Nutrition. Here we are not writing the definition for cell because almost all of them know the equation, not almost. All of them know the definition for cell. From the first chapter itself, we define cell. Cell is the microscopic unit which forms each and every part of the organisms. Okay, and there are different functions are there for the cell. Cell perform nutrition, digestion, transportation, excretion, and reproduction.
Ma'am, can you show the slide?
Okay, okay. Is it over?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So here you can see the definition of respiration. So cells need energy for doing all these of actions. From where the cell get energy? It's from the food. Okay. The process of releasing energy from food is called respiration.
I'm finished.
Okay. And how the energy is released from the food? By the process of breakdown of the food. So we just take the food through our mouth. We just take the food into the body. Then how it is release energy? By the process of breakdown of the food. And who is helps in this breakdown of the food? It is the oxygen. Okay, the oxygen that is present in the air helps in the breakdown of the food. So from this definition, it is clear that the process of releasing energy from the food is known as respiration. Okay, then how the energy is released from the food? Energy is released from the food by the process of breakdown of the food. Okay, and how the food is breakdown? With the help of whom?
Oxygen.
With the help of oxygen, and the oxygen is present in the air. Okay, and from where this oxygen is or it is obtained for the cell? How it is obtained for the cell? Cell is inside in our human body or in every organism. We know that these are the microscopic particles which is present inside the human body. Then how the cells get oxygen? Are you there? Still there? By the process of
Respiration.
by the process of breathing. Okay, by the process of breathing. That is why we say that initially breathing and respiration are two different phenomena, but breathing is related to whom? Related to respiration. Because the process of releasing energy from food is called respiration. Okay, in order to release energy, we need to break down the food. In order to break down the food, we need oxygen, and oxygen is obtained by breathing process. So through breathing, the oxygen is reaches in our cell, and this oxygen helps down for the breakdown of, this oxygen helps in the breakdown of food, thereby releases the energy. And this process is known as respiration. Okay, I will explain it with the help of the next slide. So here they are specify the cellular respiration. That is, if the process of breakdown of the food and the release of energy takes place within the cell of an organism, we can call it as cellular respiration. So cellular respiration takes place inside the living cells.
Ma'am, do I have to write this whole?
No, I will explain this with the help of another slide. Okay, I will write here. What do you mean by cellular respiration? So now we have an idea about respiration. Next topic is cellular respiration. The process of breakdown of food in the cell. The process of breakdown of food in the cell. The process of breakdown of food in the cell with the release of energy. With the release of energy. With the release of energy is called cellular respiration. Is called cellular respiration. And where the cellular respiration takes place?
Cells.
Yes,
In the
cellular
cells.
respiration takes
Living
place in the cells. The cellular respiration takes place in the cells. It takes place in the cells. Hanna, it takes place in the cell. In the cells of an organism. Okay. So here we discuss, or we are introducing the new term respiration. We have a misconception that respiration and the breathing both are same, but they are not same, because breathing is a physical process of what? Breathing is a physical process of exchanging gases. Okay, the process of taking oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. This process of exchanging gases is known as breathing. But then what do you mean by respiration? Is it the exchange of gas? No. What do you mean? What do you mean by respiration?
Respiration is the
Process of
of
releasing energy
food
from the
is
food is
called
called respiration.
Yes. Respiration is the process of releasing energy from the food. The process of releasing energy from the food is known as respiration. Okay. And how the energy is released from the food?
By the breakdown of the food.
Okay. Energy releasing takes place. How the energy is released? We can make a chart. How it is interrelated. Energy is released by the breakdown of food. Breakdown of food. Okay. And this breakdown of food takes place with the help of whom?
Oxygen.
oxygen.
The help of oxygen. Okay. And from where we get this oxygen?
By breathing in.
By breathing process. So this is the way the breathing and the respiration are said to be interrelated. Okay. So respiration is the process in which we are break down the food in order to get the energy, and this breakdown of food is obtained with or takes place with the help of oxygen. Oxygen is obtained to the human body by the process of breathing. So this way the breathing and that of the respiration are interrelated. And if the process of respiration takes place inside the cell, we can call it by another name. What is that?
Cellular.
Very good. Excellent, children. Excellent. If the respiration takes place within the cell of an organism, we can call it as cellular respiration. Okay. So as its definition implies, cellular respiration takes place within the cell of an organism, the cells of an organism. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Oh, now almost time. Sorry. Let me take your attendance.